it works. Hope you can see my screen very well. If you're on a laptop, if you have a laptop with you, you can open up an Excel sheet.
Yes.
Open Excel the same way you open Microsoft Word. Instead of choosing Word, you choose Excel. I hope people have opened Excel that side. So when you look at a screen for Excel, there are some things which are similar to Microsoft Word, but there are some things at the same time which are different from Microsoft Word. We have the quick access toolbar, the same way we have it in Microsoft Word. Then we have the menu bar, the same way we have it in Microsoft Word. And then we have the ribbon, the same way we have it in Microsoft Word. But below the ribbon, unlike Microsoft Word, below the ribbon, we have what we call the formula bar. So this is the formula bar. And then we have the name box. So these are going to be very important as we go ahead. We have the name box and we have the formula bar. Then as you go below the formula bar, we have the labels, which are A, B, C, D, and so on. So Excel is made up of rows and columns. Rows and columns. And a combination of a row and a column forms a cell. Now columns, as you see, columns are labeled A, B, C, D, and so on and so forth. And then rows are numbered 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. So this is a column and this is a row. Now the two where they meet, say for example, this column and this row. So the two meet here, and where they meet now forms a cell. So this is a column and this is a row. The two meet here, and this is a cell. And in Excel,
James, good morning.
So we have another lecture online. Benjamin. So where the two meet, we have what we call a cell. It seems I should mute everybody because I'm here. I had left it open for people to ask questions, but I'm hearing other lecturers in the background. Let me mute you all. Okay, so you're saying the two where they meet, then we have what we call a cell reference. Now this cell reference is given a name, and the name which is given is the column name and the row. So we read the column and the row. So when you look at this cell, it's going to be given a name which is B7. We begin with the column, then the row. So this one we name it B7. And when you look in the name box here, you see B7. If I click in another cell, say for example, if I click this cell, you can see in the name box now it's called D8. When I change and I go to another cell, I have E5. So first of all, they read the column and then the row. So this is going to be very important as we go ahead. The cell reference. At any point in Excel, you must know the coordinates of the cell in which you are. So if I am here, then I read BD3. That is what we call cell reference. So we have the formula bar, then we have the name box. Then we have the columns, and we have the rows. Again, in Excel, unlike in Microsoft Word, where we have pages, in Excel we use sheets. So here we have sheet 1, which comes automatically, but you can add more sheets as you like. By clicking on this plus sign, it adds another sheet. So when you click on the plus sign, you get another sheet. You can add as many sheets as you like. At the same time, you can delete these sheets. So you just right-click the sheet, and then you choose delete. You right-click the sheet which you want, you choose delete. So you can add them, you can delete them. At the same time, you can change the name of the sheet. So now this is sheet 7. I can change its name from sheet 7, and I give it a different name. Say I'm going to call it February. How people are practicing these things that side. If I'm too fast, you let me know. You can name the sheet. This one I'm going to call it January. You can even change the color tab of the sheet. You right click, then you come to tab color. Can give it a different color. Right click, tab color. So when you right click a sheet, you can insert a new sheet. You can insert a new sheet. You right click, you can delete the sheet. You can rename the sheet. You can move or copy the sheet. You can protect the sheet by putting the password if you don't want people to change. We remember also passwords in Microsoft Word. You can change its tab color. You can also hide that sheet. Like now I've hidden the sheet. You can also move the sheet by dragging and dropping it where you want. See, now, you can drag and drop where you want it. So these are different things which you can do on the sheet. You right click, you have different options you can do on one sheet. Okay, let us start using Excel. Now, Excel is not like in Microsoft Word. Excel comes with these squares which make the tables. Okay, so we want to start entering data into this Excel sheet. So the cell, remember we talked about the cells. So the cell which you click in is where you enter the data. So at the moment you select a cell, then you can start entering data. Like I'm going to put our names. Then you click in the second cell. I'm going to put, I want to put subjects like biology. Now you will see that whatever I type here comes in the formula bar here. And here it is showing me which cell I have typed in. So I come to C1, then I'm going to type chemistry. As I type, it appears in the formula bar. English. Then I'm going to put a total there. So I'm going to put my names. Now, just look here. I have typed the name Soke Rogers, but it has gone beyond this cell and it has gone to the second cell. But remember, the second cell is a column for biology, Max. But the name Soke Rogers goes there. So this is not a problem. The moment you press enter, now I want to put Max for Musoke Rogers, but remember Rogers has gone into the cell for the Max. So again, I'm going to click on that cell and I'll put my Max. Okay. Now, when you look here, the name Musoke Rogers has been cut off. But we want this name to be visible. So there are 2 or 3 ways you can do it to get this name visible. So the first way is to select that cell which has the name which you want to be visible. Then you come to the Format tab here. There's a Format tab there. So you click on that option arrow pointing down. And then under that option arrow, we are going to have Auto Fit Column Width. So the computer will automatically adjust the cell to make sure the name fits. Or if you don't do that, you can just come to the end of the row number, column, letter, and then you double click there. So I've shown you 2 ways. You can either go through the format, then you go to auto fit, or you can come up there, double click, it will fit. So let us have more students. You can type that side more students as you give them marks. All people are following me. You can type your own names. You may not exactly follow mine, as long as you give them marks. So minute, someone is calling me. Hello? Okay, let's continue. I hope people have been able to put in marks. Okay, so we want to, again, this one is hiding. Let me unhide it. So when you look at that work in Excel, it appears as if it is in the table. But practically speaking, when you come to print it out, it will not come in the table, as you can see there. If you come to print it, it will not come in the table. So we want to put this work in the table. So we want to put this work in the table. So that is called borders. And this is the tool which we are going to use. This is the tool which we are going to use. It is under the Home tab. It's the tool which we are going to use. So we shall select our data. Then we come to this tool, which is borders. So we click the drop down arrow and we click all borders. So now our work is in the tables. If you go to print, you can see now the tables have come. The same things which we did in Microsoft Word, the cut, the copy, the paste, the same things which you can do in Excel. Now I'm going to copy this work, which is on the sheet for February, and I'm going to copy it and I bring it to a new sheet. I'm going to create a new sheet, which I'm going to call March. So I want to copy the work, which is on this sheet. So what I do, I select the entire work. I can either use this copy or I can use Ctrl+C on the keyboard. Now, you can see a running mark queue around the work. So this is the difference. Now, in Word, remember when you copy, you don't see anything. But in Excel, the moment you copy, you're going to see that running mark queue around your work. So you go where you want to paste your work. I'm going to paste it on, then I'm going to click either the paste button or Ctrl+V on the keyboard to paste it. So there we are, the work now comes. Again, I want it to fit. So I've been able to successfully copy and paste. Now, you see when I go back to this side, the running mark queue is still there. It is still there. So to remove it, you press the escape key on your keyboard. Escape key is that first button up on the right-hand side. The first button up is the escape key. So when you press it, the mark queue will disappear. So that is the copy. However, we can also cut. Let me create another sheet. And that sheet, I'm going to call it Apple. So this time, I'm going to cut the data on the sheet for March. So I have this data. I'll select it. Then I'm going to cut that data. So I'll go to a sheet for Apple and I'll paste. Now, when you go back to the sheet for March, the data is no longer there because we have totally cut the data away. So that's how we use the tools for cut, copy, paste. The same way we use them in Microsoft Word. Format Painter is also the same as we used it in Microsoft Word. Then we have the font. We have the font. You can still change the font the same way we did in Microsoft Word. Select your work. Come to font. Then choose any font you want your work to take. The size, the same thing. The same thing we did in Microsoft Word. Because I've changed the size, so now I have to expand my cell by double clicking. Someone is raising a hand. Can you ask? You can, if you have a question, you can unmute at any time and you ask. Jerry, I saw your hand up, or it was by accident. Okay, let's continue. Then the size, you can also change the colors of the text the same way we did in Microsoft Word. You select the text you want, then you change the color. Oh, these are Microsoft Word features. The bold, the italic, underline, the same things. You can still underline. The same thing we did in Microsoft Word. You can still underline. You can even double underline. The same thing we did in Microsoft Word. Then you can also shade a cell, a row or a cell. You can also shade a column. You can even just shade one cell. This is a text color. All these are Microsoft Word features. I'm just using undo to get my work back as it was originally. Now we have the alignment. Now remember in Microsoft Word, we had only 4 types of alignment. Someone is telling me to repeat on shading. So shading, this is a shading tool. I have said, let me use this sheet. So I have said, you can choose to shade the entire row. So when I click on the number of the row, that means I have selected the entire row. And you can shade the entire row. However, you can only shade only the cells which have your data. So they have selected only cells which have only my data. However, you can also shade only a cell, one cell, by selecting that one cell. Same applies to a column. If you click on the column letter, it means you have selected the entire column. So you can shade the entire column. You can also just select only your data and you shade it, or you can only select a cell and you shade it. So that's how we use the shading. The choice is yours. The choice is yours. Okay. Remember in Microsoft Word, we had alignment. And in Microsoft Word, we had 4 types of alignments. We had left, then we had the center, then we had the right, and we had the justify. But Excel gives you more options for alignment. Like I have names here. You can put the Let me expand this cell so that you can see what I want. Okay, so I can put it on the top. I can put a left. I can also put it in the center. So you can play with these alignments. You can put your text the way you want. Okay. At the same time, we have what we call orientation. Now, in Microsoft Word, we have two types of orientations. We had either portrait or landscape. We had either portrait or landscape in Microsoft Word. But in Excel, we have another orientation apart from the one which we saw in Microsoft Word. So the other one which we saw in Microsoft Word is this one, this orientation, either portrait or landscape. We shall come later to it. But now the orientation we are on is under alignment. We have another orientation. And this orientation now is not about orienting the pages, but it's about orienting the text. It's about orienting the text. So I may choose my headers. Now I can come to orientation. I can put them at a certain angle. Let me use the smaller one so that you can see it easier. I'm just going to remove I'm using the no fill, remove the highlight. So I'll select that. Then I come to orientation. So I can orient it at any angle I want. At the same time, I can also come to format cell alignment. Then under that, I can choose a different angle I want. I have alignment there. So I can choose, say, I want it at 32 degrees. So after clicking 32 degrees, then I'll click OK. So as you can see, it is oriented at 32 degrees. If you put a negative number, it will face down. So for example, I want it at negative 30. Then I'll click OK. So negative number faces down, positive number faces up. That is orientation. Then we come to number format. We can format our numbers. Now these marks, I have put them as whole numbers, but I may want to put them as decimal numbers by clicking. So I can add decimal points, especially when you are dealing with money, currency. So this one will add decimal points, this one will remove them. So again, if I may have 60,000 there, but I want to put 1,000 separator comma mark. So I'll select it and I click on that style. So this one especially works when you are dealing with the money. I may also want to put a currency symbol on it. So some people, if they want to put currency, some people do this. So for example, someone comes and types UGX, and you do that. This is wrong. It's not acceptable in Excel. So that is wrong. It's not acceptable in Excel. Okay? So don't just come there, then you type UGX. Okay? That's not acceptable in Excel. Actually, when you see Excel, automatically puts this on the left, meaning it is a text. Yet it will be putting it on the right to mean it is a figure. As you can see here, Excel puts all figures on the right, But the moment I did this, automatically Excel brought it to the left, meaning it is a text. So when you come to calculations, you'll be in trouble. So to put the currencies, you have to use a function which puts the currencies. So for example, I'm going to highlight this, where I want to put the currencies. Now you'll see in Excel, when you highlight, the first cell appears as if it's not highlighted, but it is highlighted. So always the first cell appears as if it's not highlighted, but it is highlighted. So don't worry about it. Then you come to number format. Under number format, you click on drop down arrow. Then you come to currency. So it automatically puts the currency. But what if the currency it has put is not what I want? Say if I want a dollar sign, or if I want UGX, but as you see, it has put you Uganda shillings. So I come back. So this time I will choose more number formats. So under more number formats, I choose currency. Then I come to symbol. You come to symbol. So you scroll down until when you see the symbol you like. The symbols are many down there. You scroll down until you see the symbol you like. So you're interested in UGX, they are in alphabetical order. So UGX is there. You select UGX. You can specify how many decimal points you want. So if I want it up to 2 decimal points, then I'll click OK. So now you can set difference. Let me expand this. You can see now that automatically these numbers, the currencies are aligned to the right, unlike this one which was typed manually. So this one now is aligned to the right. So it means if I need to, as we shall see in the formulas, if I need to add up these sums, they will add up very well. But this one, it is going to throw an error, meaning it doesn't recognize this text here. Hope the currencies are clear. Everybody now can convert to currency. So we have general number, currency, accounting, and so on, time, and so on. Any question or we continue? Everything is clear? All people are practicing that side. There's no question, I continue. Okay. Let me use this sheet, the Apple sheet. I'm going to return the orientation to a normal one. I'm going to return it to the normal one. I want to see how we can add rows and columns. Rows and columns. We saw earlier on that we can add more sheets, okay? And we saw that you can delete some sheets. But what if I want to add a row? What if I want to add a column? So what do I do? Say I have chemistry there, but I missed ICT. So I want to add a column between biology and chemistry. I want to add a column for ICT. Remember in Microsoft Word, we could add a column to the left, to the right in Microsoft Word. But in Excel, you have only one option. So if I click on chemistry there, then I come to cells here, then I come to insert. So you can insert columns, but in Excel, you can only insert a column to the left. You cannot insert a column to the right. I repeat, if I want to put a cell for ICT between biology and chemistry, it means I cannot come to biology. Because if I come to biology, if I say insert column, the column is going to come to the left of biology. So if I want to insert a column between biology and chemistry, it means I have to come to chemistry such that that column comes to the left of chemistry. So I come to insert columns. So then I can put ICT. Now, if I want to insert more, I don't want to insert one, but I want to insert more than one. So it means if I select 3 columns, the moment I click insert, it is automatically going to insert 3 columns because I selected 3. So the number of columns you select are the number of columns you insert. So if I select 1, 2, 3, 4, and I come to insert columns, it means I'm going to insert 4 columns. So the number you select is the number you insert. Someone is saying, how do you undo? Okay, someone has replied that is Control plus Z. That is good. Someone was asking, what if you want to change all the figures at once? I didn't see that. So if you want to change all the figures at once, that means you select all of them. So you select all of your figures. That is someone was asking that. So if you want to change all the figures at once, that means select all of them. Then you can come to your currency there. Currency. And then you select a currency which you want. So whoever asked that, I think I have answered you. So if you want to select all the figures at once, it means you select all of them at once. You can also, if you know you are going to type currency, you can also first, say for example, if I have this column here and that column is for tuition, okay? I know whatever I'm going to put there is going to be tuition. So I can just select, before even I start typing, I can just select that column and then I first convert it to currency. So I first convert it to currency. I give it a currency I want before even I type anything. So I give it. So now whatever I'm going to type here is going to come in currencies, in UGX. So you see, whatever I type in this column will be in UGX because I've already converted it to currency. But those cells which I have not converted to, it will not. So you can do it before even you start typing inside it. If you know that column, everything you're going to put there, you need that currency symbol so you can configure it first. Okay, let's go back where we have been. We have been inserting columns, but we can also insert rows. The same thing you do, you select where you want to insert a row, then you come to insert rows. Now, again, in Excel, the rows can be inserted above. You can't insert below. In Microsoft Word, we had to insert below, but in Excel, you can only insert above. So if I want to put a cell between Kato and Peter, sorry, between Kato and Chizito, it means I have to come to Chizito. Then I'll click insert row. Again, the number of cells you select are the number of rows which you are going to add. So if I select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it means I'm going to insert 5. Okay. Now, what if I want to add a title to this work? It has no title. So it means I have to create some space up. But when you look here, I use the very first cell. So it means I have to create more space up. By say, for example, I'm going to select 2 rows, and I'm going to say insert rows. So I have created some space up. Let me remove the fill here because I don't need it. I'm using the no fill tool. So I've created some space up. Now I can type a title there. Now I've typed Nkumba University students marks. Now remember, in Microsoft Word, in tables, we had a feature there which was calling merging cells. We also can have it in Excel. We have merge cells, and this is the merge cells, the same as in Microsoft Word. So I'm going to select all these cells because I want my title to capture all this space. So I'll select all those cells, and I'm going to click on merge cells. So I can now increase the size. I can even change the font. I can change the font color. And I can also change the background color. Okay. So I've just used the merge cells. Then I've used the font color, which we have already used in Microsoft Word. I have used the font size. I have used the shading, and I've used the, okay. Someone saying repeat on the heading part. Okay. I will. Okay. Let's use this data here. Now I want to put a heading on this data. But remember, I have no more space up. So I have to create some space up. And to create space up, I create it by inserting more rows up. So I can insert 1 row, but I'm going to insert 2 rows. So I'm going to select the first two rows. Then I'm going to go to insert rows. So in the way I have created now space up. And after creating that space up, now I can type whatever title I want to type. If I want this title to be in the center, so it means I'm going to select all these cells which are up above my work. And then I'm going to use the merge tool to merge these cells. So I'm going to merge and center. After merging, then I can use this font color to give it a different color. Then I can change the size to give it any size I want. You can change the font to any font you want. And then you can also shade it. You can give it any shading you want. Hope that's clear now. Okay. Now, what if I want to delete some columns? I want to delete some cells and so on. So we saw that you can delete sheets. You can delete a sheet by right-clicking on the sheet and choose delete. But for the columns, you have the option here for deleting. Say if I want to delete the row for Kato Peter. Now, you are going to recognize something. Chizito is in number 6, but we are going to delete Kato. So if I come to delete rows, you see that the rows have now shifted. Chizito was in number 6 has now come to number 5. So as you delete a row, they are shifted up. Now there's a common mistake which is done by students. A common mistake. So if you come to delete say Chizito, you come to delete. Now, instead of deleting rows, someone says delete cells. So when the moment say delete cells, Excel is going to ask you a question. Do you want to shift the cells to the left? Do you want to shift them up? Do you want to shift the entire row? What do you want to do? So if I say shift to the left and I say okay, so as you can see now, I've deleted the name, but the marks have come here. So this is a common mistake, not only in exam, but also in your workplaces. Some of you use Excel sheets in your workplaces. You normally do these mistakes and you end up having wrong results. So be careful when you are deleting these cells. Take time to understand what you are deleting. Say, for example, I'm going to delete. I have marks for here for ICT. But I have also marks for chemistry. So the moment I delete a cell, I come to delete, then cell. So the moment I accept to shift to the left, it means the marks for chemistry, they are going to become where ICT is, and the marks for ICT are going to disappear. So I'm going to run into a trouble here. So I'm going to say shift to the left. So as you see now, the marks for chemistry have come here and the marks for English have come here. So already now it shows this student has no marks here. These are common mistakes which are done also at times by the admins who manage your marks when we give them Excel sheets. So eventually they say, the student never did the coursework. And they say, go back to the lecturer because you never did the coursework. But actually, this person accidentally deleted a mark and these marks shifted. And now the Excel sheet is showing this student never did the coursework. But when you go back to the original sheet of the lecturer, you find that the student had actually coursework. Okay? So be very careful when you are deleting. Be very, very careful. I stress this. Because the moment you make a mistake, you are going to distort all your data sheet. And you are going to land into trouble. So be careful about these options of deleting. Know what it is asking you. Okay. So you have option to delete cells. You can delete sheets. You can delete columns. But as I always tell you, practice makes perfect. Unless you practice these things in your free time, you may not know what, you may easily forget them. So practice as much as you can. I will give you some data to use for practice and some instructions. Very soon I'm going to give you a second coursework. Hope you have finished the first one. The deadline is today. I'll give you a second coursework, which will be basically about Excel. When you look at those courseworks, they teach you something. I know some of you, you take to the machineries to do for you, but in that way, you are not learning. You are not learning. The group is open. Instead of putting funny comments in the group, if you are stuck in the coursework, you come to the group and you say, I'm dealing with number 5, but I'm stuck. Can anyone help me? People are going to come up and they will help you. It is coursework. It's not an exam. You are allowed to consult. But I've not seen anybody posting in the group that I'm stuck here. I hope people have done it perfectly. But I'm 100% sure some people have given the machineries to do for them. In that way, you are not learning anything. Everything I said in the coursework is meant to teach you something, to do practice. Okay? So instead of taking to the machinery, post in the group and ask your colleagues, I'm stuck here. Can anyone help? People are going to come up and they will help you. Okay? So don't take to the machinery. Okay, we have seen that. So we have been able to look at a clipboard group. We have been able to look at a font group. We have seen the features there. We have seen the features in the alignment group. We have seen the features in the number group. We have seen the features in the cells group. So in our next lecture, we shall utilize these other groups and we see what they do. Any question? I believe now everyone can do something in Excel. Now, Excel, what makes it more powerful compared to Microsoft Word is ability to use formulas and functions. Its mathematical capabilities. And it is good at analyzing data for data analysis. So in our next lecture, we shall be dealing with formulas in Excel. We shall see how Excel does the mathematics. Like if I want the total here of these numbers, how does Excel do it? So that is what we are going to deal with in the next lecture. Today we have just been familiarizing ourselves with the Home tab in Excel. However, the Insert tab in Excel has the same feature, some features which are the same like in Microsoft Word. Someone say, please repeat the bit where the column is formatted to show UGX when you enter data. Okay, I'll repeat that. I've been telling you in Excel, when you come to insert, then you have illustrations, you have shapes. The same way we draw the shapes in Microsoft Word is the same way you can draw them in Excel. So just pick a shape and you draw it. Then again, the shape format will come. Again, you do the same things which we did in Microsoft Word, exactly the same. Okay, someone was saying, I repeat a row. Okay, I have this row here and I'm going to put the tuition. But I want to format it such that whatever I type there comes with UGX. So what I will do, I will click on the column letter. Then I come under number format. I can even click on this dialog box launcher here. I can click on it. So it will straight take me, I choose currency. Then under currency, I choose the symbol which I like. So I want UGX. Then I'll click OK. So after formatting it, that means whatever figure I type there is going to come in UGX. Whatever symbol I type will come in UGX. So if I want now tuition in dollars, so let me expand this using the auto-fit column width. So I want tuition in dollars. I'll come to currency. Then I look for dollars. For dollars, now this is USD, dollars. So whatever I type there is going to come in USD, in that currency, USD. Okay. I'm seeing some more questions in a group. Someone saying, pardon, sir, now I don't know pardon on what. Can you be specific? Pardon on what? Hope is saying pardon on this. I said, you select. You can even change. Now, for example, I had put UGX, but I don't want UGX. So I can just select it. Then I come back to the currency there. So it is in UGX. I have an option to change it to a different currency I want. Save. I can change the currency. So as you can see, I have changed the currency. So you can change. On the currency part, I hope I've done that. Any more questions before we end? Next time we shall deal with mathematics, the formulas. Today we have been familiarizing ourselves with some features. Next time we shall be dealing with some analysis, and we shall start using the mathematical formulas in Excel. Someone is saying kindly share the lecture. I have recorded it and I will share it. Are we seeing signing anywhere? You don't need to. I have captured those who have been online. The names, I have them. You have, I have already captured you automatically. Okay. Someone is asking whether the next lecture is online. I will communicate. Also, I don't know what will happen next week. I will communicate by Tuesday next week, if it is online or if it is physical. Okay, I think that's it. I wish you a good day. I'm going to upload this lecture on the YouTube channel. But some of you don't want to subscribe. When you get there, you subscribe, okay? When you get there, subscribe. I'm going to upload it to the YouTube channel. You subscribe such that you get more lectures as I upload them. In case you missed one, you can get it. Those who have not yet submitted your work, remember the deadline is today. And after that, more work for Excel is coming. We shall have two courseworks, and the average will make the final average mark. Okay, someone saying subscribe, guys. You subscribe. Okay, wish you a good day. You can go and do other things.